Yeah. It was, I didn't accept it. Well,
Do you have a coat guns?
Once I got in there,
yeah.
that person specifically
Oh, no, I don't.
showed me around.
I gotta have that. Is that how you do it? And then we were oh, I grabbed it. So that works fine.
I'm not used to somebody switching.
And that's, yeah, good idea. Thanks for the.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And wait for it back.
Yeah.
You're gonna like our song?
A lot of my ears. I know that.
They just missed us on our fifth go around or
Yes,
whatever it
they
was.
missed the practice, but that's why we got there.
Yeah.
We got out. So people would miss the practice and be all surprised.
Huh?
That's right.
I know that.
You know that song? Well, Dave and I
That was
did.
it.
For this service. For this service. So if you know it, that's like.
It's yes.
It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love.
You don't take when you
With love.
Yeah, I don't need it. I got my words.
Words. We're good. We're in business.
Thank you. That's good.
You'll enjoy this.
We have a new affirmation, and that's nice. I think I know all of
So I had the 60.
I don't mean I know it by heart, but I can pronounce it. Very organized.
I used
All
to
right.
have it by decade.
What's with the, oh, it's the presents must be for people who finished the class or something near my house. We have goodie bags.
No. Vintage clothing.
Oh.
So you brought your stuff in,
Yeah.
okay, and they priced it. And then they.
Yes, like cutting the yard or painting the kitchen. Gifts. Crystal.
Yes, in those days,
But anyway.
people were designers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a teal trainer.
Oh, that, but I meant the gifts that we You know, yeah, I went in the, Skip called me into the men's bathroom. Trees in different parts, perspective. That's not it either. Different ground. And I've been trying to drive
So I guess they'll probably.
among the trees. So I went in and took a picture of it, but I've lost it. I had to do it again, but not right now. I'm trying to just get my job done this morning. Well, I was talking about the picture in the middle. All I want to do is go really and I do that. I want to go to Eddie. Phone, and I'll be, but I'm behind. Because okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Oh, you said, oh, 2 or 3 pictures. I've got that. 3.
I'm checking. But they'll have to schedule me for that.
Yeah, that's, went behind.
So that'll be like biopsy.
All the paint I have is spread all over.
That'll be Cousin Carol Madison.
Oh, I like watercolor.
I want to do that. So I might
But I do acrylic for satisfaction. Because watercolor, it, for me, it looks easy. Right, right.
Oh, I know.
It's far and no next stroke.
Yeah, volunteered to take me to some apps.
That's
He
unusual.
could take me to Coastal
That's
State.
a couple of
That
you.
would be,
See that light beach scene? That's pretty.
yeah, and I don't have to.
I've got,
Yes, that one with the sand, I like that.
it's real light. That's what I.
Yeah, that should be kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Light beach scene. It's I'm out of food. It's a metaphor. We should hang it.
I just went.
Right, and you're not the only one who knows about the secret one.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think a few more.
I can always get it down.
Getting that one right.
I like this aware dog. Sitting in the front yard meditating. Long term gives you. Yeah, I tried to get
Yeah, I tried passing you, so it was passing. But it's just heat. It had to be
Well, he also said, some people don't have to be.
I was wondering if I might be, so that's why I didn't take it initially. Because I said, no, maybe I won't go.
Yeah.
So then I called her.
Yeah. I know, we don't have to jump.
So 3 weeks, you take it back. 3 weeks, you take it right there. 3 weeks, you take it to the line. 3 weeks, you take it. But they pass. And they usually hurt it. So it's not like they bother you during the time.
Basically, my health is great. All right, good. You know, I called again. I haven't gotten paid for 2 months. So I talked to the accountant. Well, you know, she said that you got all that attended to. Other people maybe have been right. Back when I did it, on the 5th of January. Yes, I know it tonight. Yeah. So I said to her, okay, good, I'm glad that I said I'm going to be there. But right on time. Oh, yeah.
So they're kind of, they can shoot that. Oh, I wrapped them all up in bubble. Yeah, it's basically my little thing, and I think and that's what it was. And then I've got to figure when I fit it, I'll show her. It's hard to like, so high. Yeah, it's hard. And then you just want to do it. And that's so you read it. And
So you get the story.
other people, I have the list and I printed out.
And I have teachers, you know, that doesn't cry.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you know, I remember the activities judges when my parents were there. The one would make oh, she's terrible. She doesn't what she do. And of course, my mother was
I know.
she has like the third time or called me by mistake. If they're still there.
See, all our friends are good.
Say hi to them. I'm sure you will.
Good morning, Phyllis Baxter. We missed the Democratic meeting this last week. Yes. I know. I don't remember why, but I was just these off. I'm so happy, and I read
Two of them are coming to my house Tuesday, so I can show them how to
Very quick.
Don't say that, for heaven's sakes.
We got it. So just get off.
I'm hoping, but in this case, there are two programs, so that's why they can't figure it out. So I think if they set it, they'll see. I hope, because I don't want to do it anymore.
I know you don't. Well, I had food put up on the counter to take, because I said, you know, we're supposed to take canned goods, and he said, yeah, for Phyllis.
So, it is interesting though that people are still doing that all the time. It's just- But we have lots of people stand up, new people.
Oh, good. Because it's getting
You know, it's like I'm almost afraid to turn on my
well, you know that good man wants to make it national gun.
No, when did that?
Now, that one, the one frog. So it should come to him. Good morning. I'm on, because Lynn thinks she has COVID. Yeah. And what was that right? Well, you know, she was asking. I am too. They called me early and said their test had all expired.
Well, we all, but I
We
think
had to
there's
all
something
keep each
about
other's
this.
spirits and the God too. And I liked it the last time because I did pretty well, but I wasn't paying attention. And you know, he decided to take doing stuff with the dogs. So I had to pay attention this
I
time.
have to share something with that girl, I think it's a girl,
And she's not.
she drove so sweet. She came in there last Sunday. Oh, I know what. She said, mother said, she said she wants to buy 2 bars. And I'm thinking, right hard for her age, so I guess she's going to get all the books or something for school. She got sweets. I mean, you know, it's just like, oh, to be young again. To be young
That enthusiastic. Good morning to you. Oh, I found it. Wheat bread. I know it. Well, we can quick care of what you like. So we read my daughter liked it. But anyhow, when she was a junior in high school, her class at school, and he was requested a few more tomatoes that he did in his work. She was just a little girl. I do. I know, but they still have to forget the meeting last year.
John, somebody taking your position this morning?
She's gonna play for the advanced team. No, I'm not playing.
No. I'm a
So I struggled 2 days, and now I know why. But I made it. I'm trying to it's just crazy. But I found it. This is the song and the jack is and the jack is anyway, that's not great. I should have said I'm scared every I can't get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. If I could have your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Everybody, your attention, please. So as you know, normally on Sunday mornings, those of you that have been here, we have John come up and play for 5 minutes for the folks who are at home so they could turn on the computers. Well, we have a very special guest playing piano today. She doesn't want a big deal over this, so we're not going to say anything. We're just going to give her our attention. So, Alessandra, the floor is yours. Alessandra.
Please join me in lighting the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We, like the speaker of hope, sound our request for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Alessandra. You can do that. I can stand up here and do this. My name is Kathy Zeiser, and I have a few quick reminders of upcoming events. I'm going to ask you, though, there's so much here, to refer to our weekly announcements for further details on any of this. So, the Sharing Our Stories Faith Development Workshop, being led by Kim Lewis and Ann Harrison, will take place today, directly after the talkback. The Care Committee will meet immediately after today's service in the Clara Barton Room. Per Betsy, if everyone gets there right away, he can be out in time for the talkback. Centering Our Faith conversations continue with small group gatherings to give us a chance to become more familiar with the proposals of a revision of our 7 principles. The next gathering will take place on Wednesday, March 8th at the home of Marcella Palmer in Sun City from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. If you would like to attend, put your name and contact information on the sign-up sheet in the foyer. You can reach out to Ann Harrison for further questions. Coffee, tea, and treats will be provided. Please join us on Saturday, March 4th, when Music on Malthus will present the Heather Pearson Duo. Heather is best known for her ease at the piano and her bell-toned vocals. Her songs embody joy, honesty, playfulness, and a desire to share from the heart. I checked her out on YouTube and it is really great, so not one to miss. On Sunday, March 5th, Gwen McClune will be our guest speaker here. Gwen is a 38-year-old trans woman who has been living fully as a woman for the past 2 years. Please join us to hear more about Gwen's journey. Beginning on March 7th, the South Carolina Unitarian Universalist Justice Alliance, otherwise known as SCUJA, is offering a 6-session online course titled Transgender Inclusion Training for Congregations. The course is free, and we have an opening for 2 people from our congregation if you're willing to attend. If you're interested, you can contact me for further details. Join us here on March 18 at 7 p.m. for Story, Song, and Poetry, featuring Bill Newby with special guests Ellen Titus, David and Sarah, John Shepard, Donna Titus, Marcella Palmer, Mike Nicholson, and Joanne Milush, as they present an evening of words and music. This event is free, but donations will be accepted. Let's say one more here. This year's UUCL Stewardship Campaign Gala's theme is Provide for the Future, Secure the Present. It will be held Friday, March 17th at 6 p.m. It's $20 per person, payable at the door. That includes a full dinner catered by the Olive Garden. Entree choices are sure to satisfy every dietary preference, wine and dessert. I was in at the wine, so. There will be live entertainment as well as inspiration by congressional leaders. Please RSVP by March 12th by signing up in the vestibule by signing up in the vestibule or by sending an email to Lynn Nordenberg. And I'm going to put this brochure out there for you can all see it. There's more information on here, and I think I'm done. So with that, I'm going to turn you over to Kim Lewis, who's going to talk about the pledge drive.
Well, as many of you know, and for those who don't, we are approaching the time for our annual pledge drive. And as one of your board members, I'd like to briefly share why I give. And this is in addition to the good works that reach outside of these walls promoting social justice. I initially came upon this place as it was where the local plant eaters and vegans met once a month. After a few months, I became curious about the church itself and started asking questions. With that, I was encouraged to attend a service, for which I did. And the first time I came here as a visitor and not just a plant eater, I was amazed at the greeting I received and noticed everyone entering before and after me were greeted in the same way, which was with genuine kindness and without any sense of judgment. It didn't take long for me to realize I may have just found my people, as well as a safe place where I could not only learn more about my community, but be afforded the freedom to dive deeper into my own spiritual being. Without this place, I'm not sure I would have ever found a better community where I could just be myself and believe in what works for me, and yet feel accepted for just who I am. That said, while filling out your pledge cards, I would invite you all to look inward and reflect on the freedoms we have here to explore, learn, and grow with one another on our spiritual journeys. Thank you.
To Kim's comments, ditto. That's how I found myself here as well, too. My name is Charlie Tyler. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. These people are very tolerant and allow me to be some kind of face and voice for this congregation. I know that there's a handful of guests and visitors here, so I'm looking at the right-hand side, my right-hand side, your left-hand side of the sanctuary. Are there first-time guests or visitors on the right, on my left, your right? On this side, any first-time guests or visitors that might like to stand and just introduce themselves? Nobody? Y'all need to get to work out there. Absolutely.
What about the center?
It was supposed to include, Betsy is parsing verb in the middle. If there any first time. Where's Mike? Mike, good luck, man. He's in the back there. You love him, he loves you. That's fabulous. So we gather here to draw our attention into this place and to be able to encourage each other and build each other up. I did lean over to John while Alessandra was playing. I did lean over to John and said, John, she's cuter than you. You know that, right? His job is on the line, so we'll be rooting for him this time. This morning, as we bring our thoughts to a close on this particular month of love, this month where we focus our hearts on those things that really matter to us, I hope that as we come to the end of the service as a whole, that we're able to really acknowledge the kindness and grace that comes from honoring each other, from building up the dignity and the value of each other in our time together. And so this past Sunday, these were some words that I wanted to share before Pat Jobe stepped in front of me. And let me read them to you now because I really want to come back to these thoughts. This heart that we have, this place that we have, this thing that we have, this imprint of love, I think is most significant. I use this as my Wednesday reading. Some of you may have already heard this, but I think it's worth revisiting. It's titled The Imprint of Love by Reverend Laura Horton Ludwig. And she writes in part, at times we may fear that love will not be strong enough. At times we may question whether love really is at the root of all things in this world, with so much struggle and suffering and discord. We may struggle to hold on to our faith in love. In the stillness, in silence of our own heart, we read the imprint of love created not by our own will, but planted there for us to discover. By what or whom we cannot know, and yet it is there. A clue, a talisman, a beacon, a light within that directs us back to the love that there is within. May we continue to gather our hearts together as we turn in our hymnals to our opening hymn. And it is hymn number 95, not 38. If you start singing hymn number 38, you will feel awkward. So if you would please, hymn number 95, There's More Love Somewhere. May we stand and sing together, please.
I'm gonna keep on till
This is our time to share our joys and concerns. If you have a joy to share, we want to be happy with you. And if you have a concern, we hope that we can ease your burden. This part of the program is not live streamed. We ask that you make no announcements and no political statements. If you wish to share, come forward, take a stone from the table, tell us who you are and what your message is, and then put the stone back. I think that's everything. Has anyone enjoyed? I'm going to take 2 stones for the joys and concerns that haven't been spoken. I always forget that. So now will you join me in the affirmation, which is in the readings in the back, number 458. I'll give you a minute. Mindful of truth ever exceeding our knowledge, and community ever exceeding our practice, reverently we covenant together, beginning with ourselves as we are, to share the strength of integrity and the heritage of the Spirit in the unending quest for wisdom and love.
So love still is and has been the theme for our worship services this month. And as we've been talking about love and we've been thinking about love, it's become pretty clear that there are a lot of people around here who care about this congregation and have been loving it in a number of different ways. And because the board has been working and wanting to let members know that they are appreciated, we're going to take a little time this morning to say thank you to some of those people. For those who are in leadership roles, those of you who have been asked and have agreed to serve, we want to remind you that you, too, are loved, and we plan on thanking you for all that you do at our annual meeting, which happens in May. But today, we would like to express our appreciation to a few people who have been quietly and humbly going about doing little things around here without ever having a thought about being recognized. People who looked around, saw that something needed doing, and just stepped up and started doing it. So here is how this is going to work. Reverend Charlie Tyler is going to come up, and he is going to call a name.
Thank you.
And if it's your name, we would like you to come forward, and as you're walking up, I will say what it is that we're thanking you for. And if you would make your way over towards Clay Bernard, who is the president of our board, if you didn't know that, who is up front to your right, and he will greet you and he will assist you in choosing a small gift bag from the table. Actually, then Wynette will help place you in a line in front of the congregation. So when you have your gift bag in hand, we'll ask you to walk towards the piano and form a line facing the congregation. So I also want to say a couple things. One is that we know that some of the people that we are recognizing today might not be here, but we're going to call their names and we're going to thank them anyway. We also know that we almost, really truly almost did not do this today in fear of leaving someone out. I can't tell you how many conversations we've had about being so worried that we're going to leave someone out. So we know that pretty much everyone here this morning is doing something that helps keep our congregation alive and well. And if you know of someone whose name is not called today, that should have been, we ask that you please let us know, and we will look forward to honoring that person the next time we do this. And lastly, even though it might be hard not to clap, I'm going to ask that you all hold your applause until the very end. And if that's okay, we're going to start. And Charlie, if you will call the first name, we will begin.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ann. Phyllis Baxter. Phyllis, thank you for the work.
Right. So I will tell you why we are calling Phyllis Baxter forward. For at least the past 5 years, maybe more, Phyllis comes to church early every Sunday, and she makes sure that we have people to pass our collection baskets. And many of you have probably seen her do this. But what you might not know is that after our services are over, she always goes to the back office, and along with another person, they add up the cash and the checks that have been collected, they double check it, they triple check it, and then every single week, Phyllis takes our donations to the Coastal States Bank, which is our bank, to make the deposit. And she rarely misses a Sunday, maybe just a few times over the last 5 years. And when she does this, she always makes sure that there is someone to take her place.
Thank you, Phyllis. Steve Burmeister.
I don't believe Steve is here today, nor Kathy, his wife, but I do want to say we want to recognize Steve Burmeister because he comes by this church every week and he picks up all of the food that we donate to Sandalwood Food Pantry and he delivers it there. And I can tell you that they love him at the food pantry and they know him as the face of UUCL.
Thank you. Susan Crow is next. Susan, if you would, yet the shocked look on her face tells us did not expect this.
Susan came through our doors just this last year, and she immediately saw that she could give us the gift of her expertise in marketing. She has devoted hours of her time coming up with a marketing plan, which she and the rest of our strategic growth team have implemented. And when we reach our goals for growing our membership to 200 members by 2024, much of that is going to have to do with Susan's vision.
Thank you, Susan. Linda Grady.
I don't think Linda Grady is here, but I want to tell you that last year we had to take care of a few things before we finally passed our fire inspection. And one of the things that we got dinged for was that the letters on our rising room door had faded. So, and many of you are going to say, where is our rising room door? So I'll just tell you before you leave today, if you look out the window over in the back of the sanctuary on that side and you look to the left, you'll see the door that goes into our conference room, and I don't know why we call it that, but it's the rising room door, and that is what it says.
It's a riser.
Oh, riser room door.
There you go.
Oh, okay, riser. Well, now those letters are painted on there as clear as day, and this year we passed our fire inspection with flying colors. So we thank Linda for that. Amongst other things, she has also assisted in helping repaint our kitchen.
Amy Hetzel.
Amy is here, and she is one of the reasons why Music on Malthus is so successful. She has taken it upon herself to get involved and to help out. She comes early to the concerts to help with setup, and she has learned how to operate our soundboard, which is absolutely critical. The musicians would not get the sound that they are looking for if it wasn't for Amy.
Tish Hans.
Tish. For all of you who have been enjoying the monthly Women Dining Out, you can thank Tish. She is the one who's responsible for organizing these successful social gatherings, and I know for a fact that this was not something that she ever planned on being in charge of. But when they asked her, she saw there was a need, and she said yes.
Libby Houlihan.
Libby, she is here. And Libby Houlihan can come on down. I was working in my office one day, and I went over to David's office to put something on his desk, and I heard a noise. And do you know what it was? It was Libby, and she was in the men's bathroom. And when I looked inside, there was Libby, and she was up on a ladder. She was single-handedly repainting the entire men's bathroom. Why? Because it needed it. And she also worked alongside of Linda Grady to help repaint our kitchen.
Marietta Kerr.
Marietta. Is she here today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, oh my gosh. For at least the past 6 years, Marietta has served as a valuable member of our finance committee, where she is known. She has a reputation for volunteering, especially for the tasks that no one else really wants to do, like calling people up to talk with them about paying their pledge. She truly looks for areas where she can be of help, and then she pitches right in. And I know that there are people in this congregation who consider Marietta to be a true friend, because she has visited them when they were not feeling well. She has driven them to appointments. And on top of all that, she volunteers at the Habitat for Humanity, and she's always keeping her eyes open for furniture. And you can thank her for the chairs that are the new chairs that are in our foyer, and for that beautiful table that's in our conference room.
Best tie-dyed shirt, too.
And she can pull off a tie-dye shirt like nobody else.
Scott Lemon.
So Scott Lemon is a gentleman who I don't think is here, but he is the man who has mowed our front lawn in front of our building out there by the road for the past, I don't know how many years. 7 years without ever asking us for a bit of thanks, and he has just done it out of the goodness of his heart.
Cheryl McCarthy.
I don't see Cheryl today, but we could not do this without mentioning Cheryl McCarthy. And probably it's good she's not here, because no one dislikes recognition more than Cheryl. But I had to bring her up because she is a person who always shows up for our events. She's always here, and in some way, sometimes big, sometimes small, she's always helping us out. She'll hand out flyers, she'll sell tickets, she'll put on the tablecloths, she'll empty the wastebaskets. It's just part of what she does and who she is.
Laura McFadden.
Laura McFadden, our president of the board last year, who will be moving soon, is not here today. But I want everybody in the sanctuary to look up and look at the ceiling and look at these brand new lights that we have up there. And when you see those lights, you can thank Laura for that. And not only for that, but for the new refrigerator that we have in our kitchen, and also for being the one to convince us that it was probably wise for us to replace one of our air conditioners, one of our 5-6 air conditioners, the one that was 17 years old and on its last leg. She convinced us to replace it before it died, and by replacing these appliances before they crash, it was really the wisest thing. And she also got us a whole bunch of rebates. Yeah.
Joanne Malash.
Joanne. We've been talking a little bit about music on Malphurs, but this lady is the one who consistently coordinates our Music on Malphurs concerts. She makes all the arrangements with the performers, and I know you will agree that she has done and is doing an extraordinary job. She is going to need to share this gift with her husband, Steve, because behind every successful person there is someone who is supportive, and that is Steve. He is with her all the way here at every concert, helping with all the things that need to be done to make it an enjoyable evening for all of us to attend.
Ron Smith.
Now Ron
He's in the kitchen.
is in the kitchen. So
Thank
if
you.
Ellen could get him, that would be great, because he's saving our life today, actually. Because Anthony could not be here today, and we're in a panic, literally in a panic about not being able to have coffee. So Ron, welcome. We are recognizing people who volunteer here, and we are calling your name. Now, Ron has been a leader in almost everything he has touched his entire life. You should ask him sometime to tell you about all of the organizations that he has led. It's incredible. But today, he's at a point in his life where he doesn't really want to be and doesn't need to be in charge. So he just comes and he helps in the kitchen. He makes sure we have coffee every Sunday. And then when you least expect it, if you look out the windows of this church during the week, and chances are good that you will see Ron out there in the yard, raking leaves or trimming bushes or weeding, just quietly going about his business, making this place better than the way he found it.
Scott Thompson.
Scott Thompson, who's hiding behind the soundboard today. Along with Amy, Scott recently learned how to work our soundboard, thank goodness, and he began helping David with some of the technology issues that David deals with all the time. Scott was here extra early today so that he could run the soundboard for the Seven Principals, our singing group, as they came early to practice the song that they're going to sing a little bit later. And besides helping with the sound system for our services, Scott has been assisting at the Music on Malfirst concerts also. He not only comes early to get things set up, he stays later after the concert's over to take things down and to help put our sanctuary back together so it's ready for our services the following morning. And he is operating our soundboard today.
Ashley Trexler.
Ashley is our expert in website design. She is creative and clever. She is a true artist. And to see the gift that she has given us, the result of many, many, many hours of her time, I urge you all to go to our website and see for yourself the beautiful website that she has designed and that we have implemented. She began helping us with our website practically from the minute she walked through our doors, and we are truly grateful for her.
And her daughter, Alessandra. If you would join your mom.
Yes, and last but certainly not least, we want to thank Alessandra for volunteering to play the piano. Ooh, they can't help it. This morning, as the people were logging on from home, you know, they say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and in this case, that is true. Alessandra is Ashley's daughter, and she has learned from her mother that it is so important to give from your heart, that by sharing your gifts with others, you can help make this world a better place. Now, we're going to wrap this up in a second, but before anybody moves, and even before you applaud, I want to let everyone know what is in your gift bag. And some of you may know this, but maybe not all, but one of the things that Unitarian Universalists do is we make chalices out of flower pots. So, everybody's like, we do? We do. If you grew up Unitarian Universalist, you know that what you can do is you can take a flower pot like this, and if you turn it upside down and you put the lid on top like that, and you add a candle to the top, if you add a little tea light candle, you can make yourself your own chalice at home. So inside every gift bag is a flower pot chalice for them to take home. You can paint it, you can put candy in it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can even use it as a flower pot if you don't want to use it as a chalice. But this is what we are giving you today. And we leave you with these words. When you light this flame of your little flower pot chalice, we hope that the light will make you think of the light that you bring to this congregation. We will hope that it reminds you that you are the lifeblood of our church. The leaders here depend on you. They could not do what they do if you weren't doing what you do. So today, we want you to know that we see you, we appreciate you, and we love you. And we thank you so much for who you are and for all that you do. And now, we can applaud.
And now it's time to share from our abundance. I have some information here concerning the Sandalwood Food Bank, which has been our project for many years. And I'm just going to quickly read through this, but you don't have to remember it because Kathy Zeiser has done a printout of all the items that they're asking for. It'll be out front as you leave. Please pick up a takeout, and you'll have it right there at the house when you go grocery shopping. Just says, thank you everyone for your weekly food contributions to the Sandalwood Food Pantry. With the increased price of groceries and household necessities, food insecurity has been on the rise. And as Sandalwood feeds hundreds of people weekly, there's an urgent need for the following items: canned black beans, sweet peas, and corn, white rice, cereals, juice of any kind except grapefruit, size 7 diapers. I don't know about those other sizes, what they're going to do. Maybe they've already got some of those. Our UU congregation already has a giving heart, but if we can all dig a little deeper and provide a larger donation of these items for next Sunday's collection, Sandalwood and their families will be ever so grateful. And now, in support of our own community, we will pass the baskets. Thank you very much.
So there was a group of people up here just a few moments ago who have been loving you for a long time without any expectation. And that's one of the things we wanted to do as we sort of focused on this and brought this month to a close, is to focus on those who have been loving you, and you've been loving them too. And that's what really makes this an inordinately special place. And I really thank you for being that person who just wants to love us, love what we do, offer what we do back to you in a way that really builds each other up. That's a part of it. And we also, several of us, and Ann and I, as we were talking moving forward on this service, we realized that there was probably going to be someone who was left out. And so what we wanted you to know, that if you're married to that person who feels like they've been left out, call us. And we're going to make sure that that gets settled, because it's really important. We're humans. We make mistakes, but we don't make them to hurt or wound anyone. So if there's someone who feels like that you are good friends, or even married to someone who's done a lot of work here, we would like to acknowledge that too. So please, if you would, give your heart to that. We're looking at the significance and value of love and kindness here in this place and in the world that's out there. Some of you know that I have a ministry, if you will. It's a Snickers ministry. Whenever I'm making a purchase at Publix or Dollar General or wherever it is, I usually try and snag a Snickers and stick it in, and when they are running it through, I say, if you would please set that aside for me. And they said, yes, you're hungry. And I said, yes, I am. And at the end of it, I'll say, please keep the receipt for yourself, and this is for your break. What's really amazing is to watch the look on people's faces when I give them a Snickers that came out of nowhere. Some of them are like, I can't do that. Yes, you can. you can take a Snickers from one of your clients. It's fine. And most of them really get it, and they understand. They smile, and they see the value of it. And usually what I do, those of you who've heard me talk about this in the past, usually what I'm doing is I'm kind of keeping an eye on the cash register person. There, I'm also looking down the aisle to the people that are behind me. So I want to see what they're seeing. And I want to see that they might go, oh, I can do that too. And that just creates a wave of kindness, a wave of love, a wave of generosity that costs me exactly $1.42. And it's really valuable in our own lives. And that's one of the ways that I try and take this deep love and make it really quite simple. Because sometimes we take kindness and we take love and we make it really exhausting. And then as we make it big enough, then we'll look at it and go, I can't do that. I'm going to go sit down. And we do nothing. And I would encourage us that the very simple, kind acts are the ones that are deepest. And you should know that other people are looking. Other people are watching. And so we have this mystery that we live in. This thing that the author, Laura Horton Ludwig, who talked about, this stillness and the silence in our own heart. We read the imprint of love created not by our own will. For me, some of you know me well enough to know this is something that really rings true to me and resonates inside of me, is I want to know the DNA of our souls. I want to know what's really down deep inside of who we are as people, as individuals. How did we get here? You've heard me talk about three things that I think are important, that I observe as common in our lives. One of the things that I think that I find myself doing, and others doing as well too, is staring out into the night sky and just staring in wonder and glory of what's in front of us. And at the same time that we're able to look deep inside ourselves at the ocean. Some of you can't not go to the ocean, to stand on the seashore and stare at it. And then there's those of us who can't not stare into a fire, whether it's a campfire, whether it's a fire that's inside your fireplace. We are drawn to those three things. And I think that our DNA is drawn to those three things because we're made there. Our atoms come from those stars. Our DNA comes from that ocean. And our civilization comes from wrapped around those fires. That's how we got to where we are. And so when I ask myself, how do we get here? Those are some of the things that really rings my spirit. I don't know whether or not that rings yours too, but from time to time when this comes up, you'll hear a message from me about it. And this is what this is about, because we see here this talisman, this beacon, this light within that Reverend Horton Ludwig speaks about. This thing that's been planted in us, this love that's been planted in us to discover. That's an extraordinary truth. And one of the things I wanted to highlight and underscore for us today is that this love that is planted inside of us, created not by our own will, but put there for you and I to discover, makes all the difference in the world. And the reason why it makes a difference in the world is because those individuals who are across from me in Publix or Dollar General or fill in the blank, whatever line you're in, has the same love planted inside them too. And that gives me a bridge into their lives. And that gives you a bridge into their lives. And that brings us to this place of this common understanding of this love that we can be suspicious is actually there. It's really there, making a difference in who we are and what we're about. And so when I think about this, when I consider this place to which we've come, the stillness and silence in our own hearts, And most of you here in this room, if not entirely everyone in this room, has been quiet long enough to identify that love that's inside your own heart. And you might even ask yourself, where on earth did that come from? I don't have an answer for you. I do know that there are those who will say, well, that's from A, B, and C, or that's from E, D, and G, or this is from some theology, or from some God, or no God at all, but this love is still there. But anyway, you guys know, that it's inside of you. And I love the way that this UU minister speaks about this. In the stillness of her own, our own, my own heart, I read the imprint of love that's created not by me. It does not come to me by my will. I cannot will love into my life. I discover it, and it's planted there for me, you, and I to discover. And as we begin to unpack it and discover it and look and examine it, we begin to come to a point where we realize, oh, this thing that's happening in me right now, this love that I'm unpacking in me right now, it's in him and it's in her. It's in my close friend or that total stranger. It's in both of us. And perhaps if I can introduce it to the conversation, I might be able to make a difference in someone's life. Certainly in my own life. As I begin to take these things that I know are true in the essence of who we are, imprinted inside of us, we come to a point where we're able to make a guess at what's going on in that man's life, that woman's life. Most of you know, of course, that I have a second job. I work as a chaplain for the hospice care of the Low Country. It's a part of my responsibility. And one of the things that reminds me over and over again in the work that I do and the work that we do in this field is the understanding that the man or the woman that's beside me, behind me, across from me, is carrying, possibly, carrying a weight that I can't begin to understand. Has had loss and has had pain and has had worse happen to him or her in a way that I can't know. And they're just standing there. They're just standing there. And I act as if they're just standing there, but they're not. They're carrying a weight that I could not bear on my own. Many of you are that way too. You carry a weight that I could not bear on my own, but you are. And that's a part of what connects us and unites us. That's where this love goes. That's why these people that are up here volunteering themselves without any expectation or recognition. And by the way, as they were coming up, I know some of you were going like, I ain't going to do that anymore. You know, if they're going to do that to them, they're going to do it to me too. But just so you know, we'll wait at least 6 years before we call you up. But that's a part of who we are. That's a part of what we do. Is we acknowledge the love that's given to us because it's expensive. It does not come free. And you and I pay a price for the way that we love this world around us and for the way that we love those who are around us. This is that thing that we find ourselves connected to. Whenever I read a statement like this thing that's been created not by our own will but planted there for us to discover, the first thing I do is I start to open up my understanding of the world. And every one of the major religions carries something that's vaguely like love your neighbor as yourself. Every one of them. Whether it's 2,000 years old or 4,000 years old, every one of them carries that understanding that we have a responsibility to each other, with each other, because this thing that has been placed inside of us. Doesn't matter, fill in the blank, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they all carry some kind of similar language, either in positive or negative tones, that says treat each other with kindness. And when I see this thing that is universal, when I come across this thing that is common for all manner of uncommon faiths, that you have my attention. And I drill down deep inside, and I want to know where it comes from. Because you see, you and I are the same. Whether you have a faith or are faithless, you have something that's common inside of you. And that's the love that's been offered to you and the love that you offer others. And that is a reality. I think if I was to ask myself the question, as I always do at the end of a message, almost all of us do this, we ask ourselves the question, what do I want my hearer to take away from today? Dick asks that question whenever he speaks here. Anybody that's here asks that question to speaking. What's my takeaway? And if there's one takeaway I would have for you to go into your car later on, it's this one. That the man or the woman across from you has been loved and is loved and deserves your love too, because of that common imprint that has been placed inside of you by someone, by something, doesn't matter. You don't have to answer that question. The only question you should answer is, how will I love that man? How will I love that woman? How will I love this planet? How will I love this place? Some of us have answered it. You and I can keep answering it too. Hold that thought close. It'll make a difference in your life. And I thank you for your attention to this message this morning. If you would, please.
Hi, everybody. So in your order of service, if you could take out your announcements. In the back of your announcements, you see some red lettering there. So specifically for this service, Ellen and I wrote a song for you. This is the debut of this song, and we shared this a week and a half ago with the rest of these folks up here. And we're gonna see what happens. First off, this is a little tricky sound-wise, so I want to thank Scott for being there. I want to ask Charlie to come on up here too. Charlie, you want to stand over there next to Ellen?
I wrote the song for you guys.
So we are going to have a little drum playing here, but if the group, so since you've never heard it, there's a little tricky timing on this chorus. We're going to ask if you want to sing along with us. So on 4 group, let's just do the chorus without the drum. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and it's love that keeps us together, volunteers with the sun. It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love, it's with love, it's with love. Okay, try it again. Love that keeps us together, volunteers lift us up. It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love, it's with love, it's with love. Okay, so that's how the chorus goes. If you can sing along, that would be great. Scott, I had to play with the sound on the phone for a second there, so let me know if the drum is too loud. Proper beat. Sorry, proper beat. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And
Mike was distracted.
Mike, leave her alone, Mike. Stop it.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You give your donations. You all do your part. You pay your pledge, and it can be said love comes from the heart.
What has kept us together over 40 years, it's you and you and you. Different people helping
We can't do it with only a few. Everybody now, it's
love that keeps us together. Volunteers lift us up. It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love, it's with love, it's with love.
Sign-ups in the foyer, diners where we share. Friendships are created, showing that we care.
Helpers in the kitchen, helpers on the grounds. Some volunteer to sing on Sunday, beautiful sounds abound.
It's love that keeps us together. Volunteers lift us up. It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love, it's with love, it's with love.
Collecting the donations, working together on teams. Volunteering is good for all. It's not as hard as it seems.
Many ways that people help, opportunities every day. Lift your hearts is the place to start, and we only want to say it's love that keeps us together. Volunteers lift us up. It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love, it's with love, it's with love. It's love that keeps us together. Volunteers lift us up. It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love, it's with love, it's with love.
one more time.
It's love that keeps us together. Volunteers lift us up. It's with love that we do what we do. It's with love, it's with love, it's with love.
Last line. It's with
Love, it's with love, it's with love.
one more time.
It's with love, it's with love, it's with love.
What a place of joy. So, I never leave this place down. I mean, it's just so wonderful. Thank you everyone who participated in today's, especially to all the volunteers, to Alessander, who we don't see, John, music, everything was beautiful. Charlie, your sermon, they always blow me away, so, but thank you all. In closing, I did choose some words from Desmond Tutu. And it kind of goes along with today's, and I really didn't know this when I chose these, but do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. Thank you.
For this one moment, know only that you are loved, that you are safe and whole and loved. Know that you belong here, here among us, here upon this earth in your body. However tired or broken your heart may be, whatever fear, disappointment, anger you carry, for this hour, know that you are not alone. You have not been alone, nor will you be alone. Take that heart into that world with you. Thank you so much.
We all stand to extinguish the chalice. while we extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.
Thank you, sir.
With on. You should have been there.
That was very good. Thank you. Appreciate
Very
it.
nice, yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Noticed you guys singing along. That was awesome.
Dr. Ron Smith is with them now. He's also very strong. So we just need to line out and see Charlie.
I loved it.
You like that? Good.